Hey, sorry, I just want to do one more video about a post that I posted yesterday. We had our Club Wakanda yesterday, and that was a really good conversation, like it always is. We had about 12 or 13 kids in there. One of the things that we talked about, and we have talked about before, and the post that I put on Facebook was these kids who walk around with this shirt that says Savage, and they don't know that history, just like they don't know the history of the N word. So I just kind of let them know that, this word savage, that is what they used to call us. They used to call us black savages. And now here we are walking around with a shirt that says savage just because that's the in thing to do. That's the style. That's what kids think that they are supposed to wear, and it just looks really bad. So I just explained that to them. I also explained these t-shirts that say beast, and they didn't get it. They're like, "What? What's wrong with beast?" And I just explained to them again that, well, this is another term. This is what they used to call us: monkeys, apes, and beasts. And now we walk around with a T-shirt that says "Beast" just because it has a Nike symbol on it. I mean, I love Nike as well, but I'm not going to walk around with a T-shirt that says "Beast" on it. And I totally understand that. Obviously, I'm much, much older than them and a totally different generation, all that. But at least you have the information, and now you make a choice. So now you understand a little bit more this word savage. And by the way, that's the word that they used to call Native Americans as well, savages. And some teachers still have that in their lesson plans. In their lessons that I have seen on the internet, when you're reading through the lessons of how the lesson's supposed to go, instead of saying indigenous people or Native Americans, they're using the word savage or savages. But they need to know that history of that word savages. They need to know that history of that word beasts. And I just put in my post, it's really interesting that you don't see more kids walking around with t-shirts that say king and queen and prince and an educated king, an educated prince, and more of these positive words. It's interesting that these companies promote the negative, and the kids buy into it because and it's not their fault. It's just that they don't know the history. They don't know the story behind these words. And some people will say, well, they're just words. Yes, they are just words. Words that were used to degrade us as a people, just like the N word. And so that's why I put in my post, what's next? You're going to see t shirts that say in this and in that. And that's supposed to be the cool thing to do. Is that where we are at? But this is how badly our kids need to be educated about the history in this country. And this is why I am 100%, 1000% committed to educating these kids about the truth of the history in this country. And I just wanted to let them know, hey, I'm not telling you what to wear. If you want to wear a t-shirt that says savage, go ahead, but I'm letting you know where it came from, what it used to be used for. And the same with beast, what it used to be used for. And the other one that I talked about in the post was property of. And I see this a lot again with Nike because I love Nike and I go to the Nike store and you just see property of Nike and now you see property of Under Armour. And where I got that from was years ago. My brother's friend Earl Lett, I don't know where we were at. I don't know if we were in California or whatever. And I saw that shirt. I think it was in California, and it might have been property of Boss. It was a Hugo Boss T-shirt. That's how. I mean, it was years ago, and I just remember Earl saying, "I would never wear a shirt like that because I'm nobody's property, and I don't care whose name is on it," meaning Hugo Boss or whoever. And for some reason, that has stuck with me all these years because we're talking a good 25, maybe 30 years ago. He said this, and it has stayed on my mind. And every time I see those t shirts, those hoodies that say property of some company, I can just hear Earl in my ear, even though he wasn't saying it to me directly. Excuse me, we were just looking at these shirts, and he just said, "Oh, I would never wear something like that. I'm not wearing something that says I'm the property of something, of some company." And I just let them know, that one as well. It's more of a personal preference for me. And I've seen these T-shirts or hoodies that say "Property of Jesus," "Property of God." Well, okay, we're all properties of God because we're all God's children. But when you start getting into companies and you're saying you're the property of some company, and the kids they don't know the history that we used to belong to someone, that we were someone's property, and now you're going to wear a t shirt or a hoodie that says property of Nike or Under Armour, which are white companies. So now you're the property of someone white again. If they don't understand that, then they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're wearing. And somebody has to teach them that history. And that was my goal yesterday, was to teach them that history. And I will not stop. I will continue to do that because they need to know that history. Somebody needs to tell them. I'm not saying the parents are not telling them. I'm not saying the grandparents are not telling them. But somebody's not saying something because they're walking around wearing them t-shirts. Property of Nike, property of Under Armour. And this is not a knock against Nike and Under Armour because they can make whatever they want. Doesn't mean you have to wear it. Just like the music. These rappers or musicians, whoever, they can make whatever they want. Talk about whatever they want. Doesn't mean you have to buy it because we have this thing called freedom of speech. And I refuse to buy that kind of music that degrades women and uses the N word every other word, and you got to say F this and F that and F. That's what you call rapping? That's rapping to you? That sounds like someone that just knows how to cuss. That's not rapping to me. Rapping to me is Public Enemy and Chuck D and KRS-One and X Clan. Oh my gosh! But anyway, sorry, it's a whole nother thing. But I just wanted to share that with you. That's what we talked about yesterday, a little bit in Club Wakanda. We talked a little bit about the N word as well because it came up and I asked him. I said, "So you're okay if someone who's not black uses the N word?" And it got completely silent. Well, I don't know. But that's going to be a topic of another conversation that we have in Club Wakanda. We're going to get to that later. The use of the N word and who can use it and who shouldn't use it and all of that. But anyway, I just want to share that about the T-shirts and that word "savage." I hate seeing those T-shirts. I just hate them. I would never, even back in the day, would never buy my nieces and nephews some crap like that says "savage" or "beast." And they know that because they know the kind of T-shirts that I have bought them in the past. And I, for sure, would never do that. Just like when my nieces were young, going all the way back to Tamisha, there's no way in the world I was buying them white dolls. There's no way. For what? That doesn't look like them. I was buying them black dolls all along. And they all know it. There's no way Uncle Kevin was buying white dolls. But anyway, sorry. Just want to share that. Kind of got off on a rage or a vent. But anyway, that's my take on these T-shirts that say "savage" and "beast" and "property of." Just be more mindful and just know someone's got to teach these kids the truth. All right, later.